Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning, the 21st, I believe, March 21st. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We had a fantastic weekend, just lots of great things going on. I want to get right into it today because we got quite a bit to cover. I want to kind of go over some announcements, some things that I want to talk about. First and foremost, thanks for all the great comments on our newsletter from Friday. And that's kind of the content of what I want to cover today, but I'll get back to that after a couple other brief things that I want to touch on. Seminar suggestions, we've got some great ones from you guys. But if you haven't sent in a suggestion yet on things that we can do to make the Vegas seminar, assuming that it happens, we're hoping to hear back on the insurance this week. So we've got that nailed down so we can absolutely be 100% sure and start lining everything out. So if you guys have some suggestions, let us know, comment, let us know on that. If you want details on that, check out last Friday's newsletter, which would have been 3 or 4 days ago, whenever that was. The other thing is the next Coffee and Questions will be on Wednesday. And what we're going to do is do that one on Facebook Live. So those of you that want to tune in and watch it live, afterwards I'll put it on YouTube just like I always do. But those of you that are friends on Facebook and you want to see it live, it'll be 9 a.m. Arizona time. So that's an hour, no, that's the same time in California, and 3 hours difference on the East Coast. International, I don't have a clue, so check that out. But it'll be 9 a.m. Arizona time, and we'll be doing that on Facebook Live. So all of you new viewers, if you want to watch that live, then be sure and send me a friend's request, and then as soon as we're friends on Facebook, then when I go live on Facebook Live, you'll get a notification that I'm that we're broadcasting, and then the other thing is the live training seminars that we do once a month will be this coming Saturday, so like 5 days from now. And we'll be doing that Facebook Live as well. So if you want to tune in on that. That will be at 8 a.m. on Arizona time.
Saturday, yeah. On
Saturday morning. So I can't remember what the day.
I think it's the 26th.
26th, I think, yeah. So anyway, that's about that, and that's about all I have as far as that goes. So again, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. I'll put my email here, and comment or whatever. All right, so today's content on what I want to cover is based on last week's Coffee and Questions, or no, excuse me, last week's newsletter. Talking too fast. So, yeah, that's part of the content. I have another thing too, but based on that newsletter, we got a couple of different suggestions. A few of them actually is on that router table where Dad was using. People got really nervous that his hands got kind of close to that router bit, and it is dangerous. That's definitely a dangerous tool. You really have to pay attention to what you're doing. So caution on that, guys. I know one of the comments was I wouldn't wear gloves when I'm doing that, but I wouldn't do it without wearing gloves. But that's just a personal preference. I feel like I've got a better grip with those rubber
coated gloves.
Coated gloves. Thank you.
Welcome
for that. Okay, another suggestion is why didn't Dad use one of these? This is I use this on the jointer all the time when I'm running my boards through the jointer. It's a rubber pad. I think these are called like push blocks or something like that. Dad and I discussed it beforehand, and he doesn't like the idea of doing this. He wants his hands on that thing so he can really control it. So, but again, personal preference. You may feel safer with one of these. The other, another comment was, why don't you use a trim bit? Which is, a really good question, and it's certainly a way to go, and probably a lot safer.
Quit moving it. I'm trying to focus on it. Okay.
You get that? And it's probably a lot safer. However, the issue that we have with that is that when you have a pattern, this is one of our cutout patterns. This is the one for the Live to Ride. it won't, let me see how I can do this. Yeah, I can do it that way. This 1/2 inch bearing, and I don't know if they make trim bits with less than a 1/2 inch bearing. There's some places that it won't go in. Is that showing up, babe? So then, that kind of defeats the purpose. You just wouldn't be able to get into some of these tight spots. I think there are some other tight spots on some of our cutout patterns. So, but if they make a smaller bearing for this, for a trim bit, then it might make, or a smaller version, 1/4 inch, but I've just never seen one. But I haven't really looked lately either. So, and I don't really like a straight flute. I like a spiral flute because it pulls the chips away when you're taking out a lot of material. So that was another reason. But anyway, it certainly can be done for shapes that you can get that 1/2 inch bearing inside of all your places. This is a much safer way to do it. So that's a really good point. So some really good feedback that we got on that. So I wanted to kind of go over that and kind of answer. I answered everybody's comments, and as I always do. By the way, in case you guys don't know, all the comments that you guys send or emails, I answer. So I take a lot of pride in the fact that I spend a lot of time answering you guys individually and answering those comments. Dad does once in a while, but most of the time, even though the YouTube thing says Dave Roten, most of the time Dad's busy doing other stuff, and I answer all those. So if you have any comments, questions, let me know. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to cover is I've got a sign that I just finished carving yesterday. I started and finished yesterday. It's not that I want to talk about the sign that much, although I think I'm going to be happy with the way it comes out. But this material that I use, this 2-inch redwood that I use, we didn't go over this before, babe, I'm sorry. This 2-inch redwood, it's 1.5 inch net thick. And and I've said this before, a lot of times I like to use the blonde colors in here too. I put most of the blonde, if there's a lot of it like this, I'll put it on the back. And I don't know if you can get in here, but one of the issues that I have with this stuff is that I constantly have to be inspecting it over and over and over from one hour to the next. Every time I go to do another operation, I have to inspect it, because sometimes it will actually start developing cracks or checks in the actual, especially in the white part, which is where the sap sets in the tree.
Okay,
I don't know if you can get in here.
Hold on. Don't quit moving it now.
Okay. There's a couple different places. I've had to putty this thing up and sand it off probably about at least three or four times. So from 1 minute, and it may have to do with our climate, the fact that it's so dry out here, that as the board, even though this doesn't have much moisture in it, it's still air dried, and as the board dries out, it will sometimes develop checks and cracks. I've got them all pretty much puttied up, but there was lots of them, especially in this area here, that developed, and I should have left them without puttying them up. Here's one right here. I don't know if you can get that, babe, right below my finger there. Yeah. Can't really tell. It looks like it might be a grain. But again, I used to get all freaked out about that. It was like, oh, I got to start over. But now with the good putties that they have and glues, and that's why I have 3 different shades of putty that I use, of that plastic wood. If it was here, I would probably use the golden oak. Here, I would use the natural. If it's in a knot, I might use the walnut. Now, on the other side, I've got one more place that I need to putty up, which is an actual knot that came out. But it didn't go all the way through, obviously. So I probably will throw putty in that before, but that won't really matter, the color, because that's all going to be black anyway after I spray it. So anyway, I just want to kind of share that with you guys. Make sure that you, before you start spraying black on your sign, that's why you want to completely make sure that all of your, any checks or cracks or anything are all puttied up. If you don't, then when you spray your black on, you'll end up getting black down in that groove, and then you've got a real issue that you got to deal with. So make sure that there's no cracks or splits that have developed in your board before you start
You're
spraying
on
the
10
black.
minutes.
Huh?
10 minutes.
10 minutes already? Holy moly. All right. Okay. Well, I told them the other day that they're going to go a little bit longer. But anyway, so if you have any questions on that, let me know. All right. Signed Carver of the day. Uh-oh. I'm using Dad's cup. Dad will get that phone, hopefully. Unless he's on the laser. Get it, Dad. He got it. Good. Signed Carver of the day. This one's really cool. Craig sent this to me a while back. And he has a... this hangs out in front of his... He does upholstery, and this hangs out in front of his place. And he did one side of the sign... this is hanging on the road, perpendicular to the road. I think that's the right word to use. One side is inset, and the other side is outset. And did a great job. Really cool.
What's his name?
Craig.
Craig.
Craig Peterman. Can't you see it there at the top? Or can you not read my writing?
No, I didn't focus on that.
Craig Peterman. Yeah, you probably can't read my writing. So this one is 19 by 52, I think is what it says, if I'm reading correctly backwards. Anyway, great job. Signed Carver of the day. Terrific job, Craig. I love it. Great job. I had a real cool story that I really would love to tell you guys. In fact, I'm just going to do it. I got an email from a gentleman yesterday or the day before. He's been carving signs for about a week. I think his name is Mark. Yeah, I think it's Mark. He's been carving signs for about a week. And he made a sample, gave to his girlfriend who took it to work. It works in an RV park. Within 3 days, he had 16 orders to fill. And they were all paid for up front. And he's just like, you know, kind of freaking out, I think, because he didn't know what to tell him how long. But anyway, if you run across that, guys, that's a really great problem to have. If you're going to have a problem in business, too much business is much better than the alternative. Anyway, I was just stoked for him. Just really, really stoked for him. So, anyway, congratulations, everybody. I think we're going to switch. It's time for the... Yeah, you're getting chomping at the bit. Yeah, I get to get behind the camera. So it's time for the drawing. Do you have the book?
Over here.
Ah, all right. I'll get behind the camera. We're switching, folks.
Okay.
Oh, don't crush my glasses. I'm going to need those in order to see what I'm doing. All right, start talking.
Well, okay, guys. So thank you everybody for sharing the video. And I have all your names right here. I love this part. I don't have the kids here to do the drum roll. So we're drawing for the book, for Gary's book that Eric promotes and loves and has read or listened to 45 times. So
yeah.
All right, drawing.
So whoever wins, we probably have your address, but if we don't, email me. I'll put my email on the...
Yes, and again, this is not the signed copy. We don't even have those yet, but that'll be another contest down the road. So,
yeah.
Here we go. I'll mix them
There
up.
we go. So when you show it, I'll zoom in to make sure that we're not... you're not making up a name.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Do that?
Just seemed like it.
All right, here we go. The winner is Jeff Callanan. Callanan?
I think it's Callanan.
Callanan.
Jeff!
Yay,
Woohoo!
congratulations, Jeff. You won Gary's book. So
all right, Jeff. So shoot me an email. Let me know what your address is or where you want me to ship it to. And I'll get it mailed out for you right away. Thanks for sharing, everybody. We had tons of shares and likes. Thanks so much.
Thank you for putting up with him for as long as you guys have. It's nothing. I've had 35 years.
Okay.
All right,
are we ready to shut it down now?
Yes. It's a good thing I love you.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right, you guys have a great day. Have a great week, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, Facebook Live. We'll see you then, guys. Bye.